welcome to the third episode of Pie Talk. We are here with our esteemed guests, and today we will be talking about movies and games as a whole, and airing some of the grievances that we've had stored up for a while. So I'm going to turn it over to Ethan to talk about some things he's been holding on to, keystering, if you will, for a later date. Ethan, what's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, man. I've been pretty cheesed off lately, I gotta say. Because there's a game that I've been talking to everybody about, you guys as well as others,
Peddling,
that I was
if
enjoying
you will.
immensely.
I don't think it's on Steam if you're going to look it up.
It's not on Steam. I can show you.
I got you.
Yeah, it's the Bazaar.
Don't let the people know about this.
Yeah, it's the Bazaar. It's a game that I've been, I had been playing a lot recently. It was in closed beta up until the beginning of this month. I've been playing it a bunch. It's like an auto battler, which has like it's called the Bazaar. It's got a lot of shopping mechanics. You go to different vendors and events. You can buy and sell stuff to change your board. And it was really cool. And one of the things that the creator of the game, who is an ex-pro at Hearthstone, Raynad, who is kind of like an online personality for a while, one of the big things that he had talked about, and is even in an old Indiegogo that they had gotten funding for this game. Specifically, they have a section in here which is titled Pay to Win or Pay to Play. And it says, the Bazaar is neither pay to win nor pay to play. It's a true free-to-play experience. The biggest pain point is to solve for other gamers the pay-to-win model. In my game, you will start with a few classes that will have all cards unlocked for them. In the most recent update, which happened at the beginning of this month, which was their open beta release, they released not one, but two different subscription services for the game. Two different charges. Which is...
Just like right off the bat, they just went right against
off
what
the
they
rip,
were.
two different ones. One of them is something that I was like more okay with. Where in the game, you can play casually as many times as you want, but if you want to go into their ranked mode, they require that you get ranked tickets. In the closed beta, you would just get that for having a successful run, for getting 10 wins against players before you lost too many times. But they implemented a different system where you would have to play to get experience to be able to, and once you leveled up or whatever, you would get tickets that you could take into ranked. And so one of the subscription fees is to get more experience, so you get to play more ranked games. I guess inherently, I think that's fine. I don't have a huge problem with it. I'm not somebody that's going to pay a subscription to do that, because I'm not playing super seriously.
No, it also feels bad, though, having them tell you weren't going to have to pay for anything.
Exactly.
And then, oopsies.
Yeah, when they're so explicitly like, this is a problem with this style of games that we want to fix, and then once they have the support of everybody backing them in their closed beta, then when it drops free to play, they're like, surprise, two different $10 a month subs.
Oh, jeez. $10 a month?
$10 a month.
They think their service is worth as much as Netflix.
Yeah, or more than, World of Warcraft, which is a bit of an exception, but that's another game that's $15 a month.
Wait, did you say
crazy.
Two subscriptions that are individually $10, or you mean $10 total for two?
It is two different $10 subscriptions.
So it's $20 a month.
It's $20 a month for both. And one of them, which I think is more problematic. Yeah. One of them that I think is more problematic is one of their subs will get you additional cards or different options for your characters.
Yeah.
So like one of them you get when you buy it immediately. And so one of the lines that, again, they have in this Indiegogo page is, these classes have all the cards in the game for them. They're talking about every single class will have every single card. And then one of the subs says, hey, there is additional cards that you get that you can only get if you pay money for a certain amount of time. I think they're starting with a month. So there is a month where you can only pay money to get these new cards.
Insane.
And do you get access after that month, or? Or is it just
you
completely
you
locked
would
by it?
have access to still pay real money to get them or pay an unknown amount of in-game currency. But it's a game with PvP, and you're making it so only people that are spending real money can get access to them. That's like inherently a very pay-to-win system, because if those items are better, you're paying for additional power, which is
Did
just
they sell the IP or
problematic.
something?
Which is just pay to win.
No. Nope,
This
they
is just
didn't.
still the same guy.
And there is in that first, it's like a battle pass. The
Yeah.
first node, we'll say, is additional items for one character. The last node is additional items for a second character. And that last, to finish the battle pass,
Yeah.
you have to complete every single daily for 27 days, or you can't get enough experience to unlock the second one as well.
Jeez.
So
See,
play
that's just-
every day.
that
You
for a
have
feels
month.
to
so
complete
bad.
all of your daily quests for 27 out of 30 days. If you buy this battle pass 4 days after it starts, you cannot get to those items at the end, and you will have to buy them separately afterwards.
Dude, that sucks.
Just
They killed this game.
Yeah. And there has been, there was an uproar.
So it's so absurd. I was gonna say this
it
must
was
not be like just a you thing.
No,
right?
the community was going crazy. People were getting banned left and right off of the Discord. People are posting just a frowny face, no words, banned. In the subreddits, there's
Banned?
like 2 different ones. Oh yeah, banned, like uproar. People are like, and part of like the real sauce is that the guy who is like the lead designer, Raynad, is just going in on every single person. People are like, we supported you, and he's just like, I know I made the right decision because Reddit is mad. I feel good about what we've done because has
Interesting.
disdain
Oh,
for
what
the
a
people that
moron.
have paid for his services. So I'm sad because this game, I honestly think is something special. The mechanics are so good. It's so clean. I think that there is a way. Yeah, I think that there is a way that they could move forward. but
They'd
it
have
was-
to do tons of PR work. They
Oh
would
yeah,
have
I
to,
mean, you're looking at
they'd
the
have
video
to roll
that
it
has some
back.
of his comments.
Yeah,
Jeez.
where you're just like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, exactly. It was a huge look at that. I agree. I was so stressed about monetization, but seeing Reddit lose it today makes me feel better.
Oh my
So
god.
I was gonna say this when you brought it up. The last thing I'd heard about Reynad was like over the past like couple years was like
I mean, he
come
can't
on,
even
He's
shave.
homeless now.
He-
Look at that big
No,
Yeah,
no,
shirt.
he looks like
no
can't even
joke.
shave.
No joke. That is the thing that I heard. I heard that he was like homeless and like couch surfing, and he had no money. And I watched a couple of videos of him like talking about some stuff that was going, and he absolutely seemed schizophrenic. Like he seemed crazy. So you were like, oh, he's coming up with a game. I was like, he didn't seem too great the last time I saw him on like a YouTube video. So
He don't
Yeah.
seem too normal.
Which is
Yeah.
too bad because this game is so good.
it looks
But
so cool.
I think there can be things that can be changed about the systems. They need to give your free ranked ticket for getting 10 wins back
my
into
gosh.
Classic. I think you need to be able to buy all of the, if they're not going to give you all the items, you need to be able to buy them on day one with in-game currency.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not inherently opposed to Battle Pass systems. I think they're fine. But when you are giving people power in the game for them, I think that is bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel the right way.
Yeah, especially because it's a PvP game. If it's PvE, like we're talking about Helldivers, if somebody pays a little bit extra money and it makes their gun a little bit better at killing bugs, that doesn't
Nobody
bother me.
cares.
I'm not a bug. That's okay.
Right?
He's
yeah,
not
I don't
shooting
care.
me, ideally, but like when this is a PvP game. This is your run wins or loses based on how well you do against other players. And if I'm playing against somebody who has an item that I can't get, that is better than some of the stuff that I can get, just doesn't you just don't want to play the game anymore. That's
Because
it.
they paid for
Because
it.
they literally
and I did not.
They paid to win,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's just too bad.
Have we ever seen a professional player of a game? I know the Bazaar is a new game, but have we ever seen a professional player then turn around into the game industry and create a game?
We have had a few pros dip their toes in it. I think
Okay.
I don't know.
Well-
That's a great question.
One example, not from a video game, but card game, is I know Brian Kibler, who's a Magic Hall of Famer, as well as a
Yep.
Hearthstone YouTuber,
Hearthstone,
has helped, I believe, do design on some Ascension, which is like a board game expansion.
Yeah.
As well as I know that he went in to then consult for Hearthstone Balance in the newest expansion, I believe.
Gotcha. I guess based off of the stuff Slaughter was saying previously, I do feel like the frequencies at which someone's brain operates when you're a professional video game player, it seems like it would be an easy one-to-one to draw from video game player to video game creator, but I feel like those things could also be drastically different.
Yeah.
The type of person that's a professional gamer and then turns around and tries to be an artist on a creative level for a video game. I mean, you can be a critic for sure, but to actually create a new game is a completely different.
I think it's a different art for sure.
Yeah, I don't see Todd Howard
yeah.
crushing headshots.
Exactly.
Wasn't the guy that I think there was an old Doom pro that went on to do game design. I can look this up, but I'm not positive. But I get what you're saying.
Sure,
I think
yeah.
another person is, and somebody who I've watched forever is Day9, who was an old StarCraft pro who is now
Right.
opened up a game
Banelings.
studio.
Of course, yeah.
Banelings. I heard that song come on and lost my mind.
His game hasn't come out yet, though. I know that's something he's been
Correct.
working on. Right. So okay. So
I totally
I know
forgot about
one person that I
Day9.
followed a while was actually Wreckful, because I think he was a World of Warcraft and then also Hearthstone. When Hearthstone came out, he was like a streamer, professional gamer for that. He was trying to make a game that the whole idea was that it wasn't like, it was all like social interactions, create experience and leveling and stuff like that. It was a really cool idea, I think. But
yeah.
never made it to fruition there.
So Ethan, you're telling me that when I pay $20 a month for Bazaar, I won't be able to watch the new season of Black Mirror on it?
No, if you're paying $20 to enter a Black Mirror episode, that's what's happening.
Oh, that's the
I'm
worst.
sorry, it's just the way it is.
Pay to lose.
That's true.
Oh man, Slaughter, I think you had something you wanted to bring up too.
Yeah.
No, I really wanted to. I had an amazing, because we talked about it last time, my experience with World of Tanks, and I basically had the same experience right here with this freaking game. And so after we were talking about it, we shut off the recording, and I went on and signed up for the open beta. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Signed up for it. That was whatever, like 7 p.m. my time.
Wait,
And,
what game is this?
This is
World
still
of
about
Tanks?
the Bazaar.
Still
This is
talking
just
about the
your
Bazaar.
experience
Oh.
with the Bazaar.
No, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It parallels what I talked about with World of Tanks last time. So
Oh no.
yeah. so
I thought you were gonna say it paralyzed you. I was like, oh my gosh, that bad.
I wish it would have. So anyways, so the I created an account, and I was like, okay, cool. Created an account. I got the confirmation email sent to me. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna play it a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I woke up the next morning, and I had another email following up with that email, and it said, hey, you didn't confirm, so we're canceling your account. I was like, I've never seen that happen within 6 hours of me making an account, right?
I've never even played.
Because I woke up at like 4
didn't even
a.m.
want
the
you.
next day. So like we're talking about literally less than a 12-hour period of time. And then so I was like, okay. Went to click confirmation. Confirmation link didn't work. All right, whatever. I'll just go try to sign in again and get another confirmation. Try to sign in. It says that you can't sign into this account because it wasn't confirmed. I was like, all right, well, they deleted my account, so I must be able to like make a new account. I go to make a new account. It says that my emails are used for an account, so I can't create a new account. I can't sign
right,
into my
here we
account
go
to get a new
around again.
confirmation. Can't use the confirmation. I'm just out. I'm out of the game. I was like, oh man, that's crazy. And I deleted it from my bookmarks bar, and then
And we're
went
done.
and played Satisfactory. So yeah.
That's incredible.
Dude, it's so funny how I feel like it's the same exact way with any EA or Ubisoft game that you get and download. It's like you'll go to like the Xbox store or something and they're like, "Oh yeah, this game's free. Here. Click." And then you spend the whole 20 minutes downloading 300 gigs of an Assassin's Creed game. And you
Yeah.
click it and it sends you to a link which opens up a web page on your frickin' Xbox. to like actually like sign up for an account, and I'm like, well, there we go, uninstall that one.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Yeah, it's so funny too, because the game could be good, but if your user experience around installing it and setting it up and doing that kind of stuff has that type of bugginess, you're like, okay, the game's gotta have problems too then.
Yeah, well, it's not even bugginess. It's like, number one, you didn't really think about the workflow to understand that, hey, you actually can't, if you do this thing, you hard lock somebody out of actually making an account, right? Number one. Number two, why would you try and make it harder? That's my thought. So it's like,
make it as easy as possible.
Why do you have a time limit on the confirmation email for your account? Like, I sometimes I'd make an account and I'll do that confirmation email like 2 months later. You know what I mean? And it's fine. It works fine because I didn't confirm it yet, but then when I confirm it, I'm good. I get access to whatever stuff I need. That was crazy to me. Like within a 12-hour period, they deleted my account because I didn't confirm that my account was real. And I haven't even heard of this game until Ethan brought it up. So yeah, that guy and his little twinkly eyes. So like I hadn't heard of this game until Ethan brought it up. So I'm like, was this like getting botted? Like, were people making crazy amount of accounts or something? Did they have like a sweepstakes to? Yeah, like why would they even lock it out? Like, that's crazy to me. So I mean, it's very. I think it makes sense too that they also go to like a pay to win route on that and make everything like hard locked behind money because they don't.
It sounds like bad leadership.
The small things build up like a poor, user experience. I wouldn't even know I didn't get to play the game, so.
That's
it's just so a shame, man. I'm telling you, it's so good, but
dude, it's one of those things that if they can't bring it to market and actually give it to the people, it's gonna get buried and nobody will play it.
Especially a game like this. It's an indie game that doesn't have a ton of funding and has like an niche pro of a right, like there's such a small marketing window. And
has
just
followers, but you need to capitalize.
Goodwill. Exactly.
Yeah, you can't tank it just because oops, we messed this up and now you guys can't play, or it's pay to win now and that was the thing we launched it on this.
Yeah, and it's just it's just fostered so much resentment where people are like, I think their Indiegogo got like $170,000, maybe $200,000. And that is like one of the big parts in their banner is like, it's not going to be pay to win. And surprise, surprise.
I feel like that's the thing, kind of similar to what we were talking about with the games as a service previously.
You can just scroll down.
You're looking at grills? Oh, okay.
No,
this is the Indiegogo page.
Yeah,
I was like, that's a weird looking grill right there.
I might need this weird looking grill. It's got those chintzy table legs. That thing will go over with 600 degrees worth of coals in there. You'll be scorched forever.
Yeah. Featuring Raynad's Kitchen Cruiser.
That's right.
Yeah, Raynad's Kitchen Cruiser. I mean, yeah.
I think games, the idea is as a business, because over the past 20 years, we've gotten away from the idea of like game as an art, and games are more or less kind of run by people who are looking for good business investments now because of the amount of cost that they get, the amount of potential profit, everything like that. And really what it comes down to is like how much are they able to get away with and still keep the player base. And I don't think we'll ever see a game that doesn't tempt that because, hey, getting a, $5 subscription from people that all of a sudden makes $1 million because there's enough people that'll buy it. So,
see, that's the other thing I don't understand from like a business standpoint, where it's like, okay, if you are looking to capitalize more, offer more value, but in a different way. So like offer the free stupid skins, offer like the other side of the card. Maybe you get fancy art that nobody else gets, or maybe you make splashy intros. Like give them something that's tangible but also doesn't make the core gameplay of the game broken. Yeah, because this is like the whole thing. They have a paragraph here saying it's neither pay to win nor pay to play. And you're like, well, if you got to pay to play, that's pay to play, bro. I
think that one of the things that they were banking on. I think one of the things that they were banking on was actually like an NFT like system.
Oh, God.
One of the things you get from, we'll say winning ranked runs is you get chests that have different art for different like items. But those different arts will have, whatever in game they call them, like a certificate of authenticity that has like a specific number assigned to it. So you can say, oh, I have, yo-yo number 100,001. And I think the idea was that they were trying to do like a CSGO like skin market where you could sell or buy rare different kinds of skins that had different specific numbers.
Which is funny because...
Hasn't that caused so many problems in the past?
Yeah.
Like,
but
it was very original and cool, but like, my gosh, there's so much digital theft and like gambling and like a bunch of stuff that like I feel like you would have to anticipate that would come up if you're trying to cultivate an environment like this inside your game.
But it also makes a ton of money. And
I
think it inherently fits with the theme of the game, which is about buying and selling and having the marketplace that you can trade on.
That would be
Bazaar.
huge.
And so that is, I think they built their free to play, no pay to win on the idea that they would be able to make money off of these skins. And I think that at some point in development, because I think the game has been getting in development for almost 5 years. So I think they figured that as their path, maybe a year or two in, when NFTs were really starting to pop off.
Yeah.
And I think that since that has crashed and, is deemed not a viable route, they decided to change their trajectory into the subscription business. Well,
also, like, the subscription model has been around far longer than NFTs have been around, and the NFT like boom and bust, I guess, of whatever the early 2020s is already long and done with. Like, I guess I just don't understand I don't know. I don't understand the thought process, but I don't think anybody really does at this point.
Yeah.
Graham, can you go back to the Indiegogo page?
Yeah, I saw that.
Can hang on? No. Go up to that thumbnail. With him. Can we screen grab that? Can the thumbnail be him, but with like hundreds in his hands? Rain that new game, pay to play? Question mark.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there
just
you go.
looking
That's
at
a good
bills. That'd be funny.
I think they had put out a brief where the monetization may change at the beginning of next month. I think they wanted to ride this month out because they don't want to screw the people that did actually decide to pay money for the stuff.
Oh.
So I will see if there is an update.
We'll report back
in the future. We'll report back. This is a live.
This will be a monthly update process on the Bazaar. Well,
yeah, I mean,
if there's a silver lining that comes out of like this, and Graham, you were talking about like bigger AAA titles earlier as well. I don't know if any of you guys saw that earlier this week, and like an industry-wide video game workers union was launched.
No, I didn't. Is that a thing now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess they partnered with I'm just looking at the Variety article here, but the Communications Workers of America and the American Federation of Musicians. So all of these creative people, specifically in the video game industry, it looks like it covers North America and Canada, are essentially starting a union, obviously
wow.
to address things like pay and address things like crunch, which is something I feel like we've been hearing about for decades. Like, we've always heard about the amount of time that these video game devs and programmers and stuff spend away from their home and away from their families, working like 80 hours a week in crunch time on a AAA title. And the AAA titles that are being delivered anymore are dog doo-doo, as we've kind of discussed at length in previous episodes. So hopefully this is something that kind of shifts the entire industry a bit. It would I don't know. I guess I'm hopeful, but it's certainly something that I think is long overdue.
And I think what Ethan was saying, too, kind of has some merits. Like last episode saying that he hasn't bought a AAA title in, I don't know, a decade?
Yeah, quite some time.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they change that stuff. Because there are different types of, what's it called? Different types of jobs that have stuff like this, where it's like the movie industry has stuff like this, and I know the like architecture and engineering stuff has. Anytime there's a large project that needs done on time, they have stuff like this. But then they build stuff into general contracts, saying like, if you guys are working this specific time, so this might just be a because of how new the game industry is. I mean, realistically, coming to this big a popularity over, I don't know, the last 15 years. So this is all still new and everybody's still growing. But Slaughter, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about? You said you had some other pain points you wanted to get off your chest.
Yeah, no, just in the same genre of specifically pay to win schemes. So I had a similar run-in recently. Not really necessarily. It's with EA, so should kind of expect it anyways. But one of my favorite games of all time was like the Tiger Woods PGA Tour games, and they recently came out with a new one in 2023. They have a new one that just came out in 2025 this year. They have a player progression model in it where you can like add skills or add skill points into your player. And the nice thing about the previous game is your guy just kind of like got marginally better. You got some skill points and stuff you could increase. But this new game, how it works is you gain experience. You use the experience to actually develop your player. And honestly, the skills are kind of cool. So it kind of similar to what you may see in some of the other games, like the NBA games. Your guy will be hard locked into certain skills that they can max out. So like, in golf, Graham, you'll probably even know this more about this stuff than I do. But like your striking plane may be like better, or you can improve on it, but then you're going to lose power.
On like the front of your club face.
Yeah, kind of. It's like, hey, well, you can crank it, but you're gonna slice it, but you're
gonna lose accuracy.
Get 30 more feet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when as you're increasing the abilities, they kind of balance out, and they'll hard lock eventually against each other. Where like if your power is a certain height, your swing accuracy can only be like a certain maximum amount of points on it or whatever. It's cool. Interesting. Yeah, so like you can kind of you have to develop like
dynamic
a player.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like you're like, oh, I'm good on the green, I'm good in the fairway, good on the drive box, whatever. The big problem I have with it though is that they incorporated the model for increasing your player's traits that they've had on the NBA 2K system since like 2017. So yeah, and I recognized it immediately because I was like, oh, I got all these skill points. I'm going to start using these skill points up and moving them up. And then it said, hey, this is going to cost 1,000 VC. Do you want to do that? I was like, oh no, I've seen VC before.
No.
VC's in the NBA. Yeah.
We just saw it in the video too.
Yeah, like I started having like a
just flashbacks.
Just a stroke. No, just a straight up stroke. Yeah. So I started looking back because I started playing NBA 2K I think in 2017 with the NBA 2K18 game, and then I played basically until 2K 2021. The reason why I stopped playing specifically is because each game you would have to put in a ton of work to develop your character, and the problem isn't necessarily that like, hey, your character is not going to be that good, or you can't make them perfect. Mm-hmm. It's like there's a lot of features structurally that like aren't workable in the game until your guy gets to a certain like overall skill rating. So
he's just kind of hard locked until he gets there. So you got to grind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the best you can start at, I think, is like level is 67 overall, right, or 66 overall. Once you get through the tutorial, you'll generally get to like 68 or 69. Then you get drafted to the NBA. You go through the NBA season. Like any other sports game where you're making your character.
Yeah.
The experience is really fun and cool and everything. The problem really is the online. So, because when you're playing like career mode or whatever, you just put it on like super easy and drain every 3-point shot you want it. With the problem that I had with the NBA 2K games was the online mode. The online mode was really cool. So they had this idea of having the park or like the I keep forgetting what it's called because the most recent one you're on like a cruise ship as opposed to actually being at like a park, and I think they went back to a park recently, whatever. So
Yeah.
there would be like gyms and like outdoor courts and everything. So you're like playing pickup basketball with other people. It's really cool.
Oh, was that NBA The Street or something like that?
No. That's way back. No, I'm literally talking about the NBA 2K, like LeBron James and Steph Curry and everything going on there, like the official game. And so you would make your character, you'd go out into the world, and you could go play games with people, or you could do matchmaking. You get match made with like people around your same level and everything. But for the most part, the fun thing was being like, you watch people play, and then you're like, I got next, and then you get to play against those people. You could run the court if you start winning like 3 in a row or something.
Oh, so that's kind of cool though, because I feel like
really
that
cool.
type of matchmaking is like, you almost have like built-in viewers where you're doing that kind of stuff. Did they do that in this game?
No, I don't even know how. I don't think they could get to that point. I think that'd be cool, but
That would be
was the coolest
dope.
thing about the reason why I bring that up is because you're kind of hard locked into doing fun things by your level. So there's an inherent thing where you need to put in the work to level your guy up in order to do the fun things, the cool things that they created with the game. The problem is that you could just decide to not play with people. So like, let's say you go up to a court and it was like 3v3 and you're like, oh, I got next. We call them brown shirts, because you would start out with a brown shirts and blue jeans when you're playing. So no relation to Mussolini, but
You just have all of your...
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. It's like starting off in the regular zone, in the vanilla zone in World of Warcraft, where you're like, I only
Exactly.
have cloth and like this axe, and that's it.
yeah, imagine being like level 10, but you could queue for Altaric Valley. And
Yeah.
then people could see, and then people could see and be like, "Hey, I'm not gonna join this guy's game for sure." So
Yeah.
you would be like level 65, and you just go up and try and join games, and people just leave. They just be like, "Yeah, we're gonna go somewhere else. We're gonna take our ball home." And you're like, "Oh, okay, goodbye."
Okay. And then
So
you
like
just
you
sit
had
in
to
queue.
you had to put in the work to level up, and of course I was playing with a couple of our friends who weren't that great or didn't play the game a ton or anything. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get up to like level 90. So I can like carry them into games, so we can actually have some fun playing. Because otherwise, we got some people who are just absolutely destroying us every single time. But I went through the math, and it's absolutely crazy. So the first game that I played, I got to a 95 overall, which is where then you needed to start like winning games and basically gaining your overall points in a different manner, kind of like related to everybody around you and everything.
Yeah.
So in order to get there, I had to do 300 game hours to get there.
Dude, this is making it sound like
That's
the
insane.
killing boars for like 1 XP a piece. It sounds exactly like
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is that to put in that much, the crazy thing is you couldn't do that straight up. You needed to do that with a concentrated plan. So I made a power forward who did a specific type of move to score a basket, and I would need to score over 100 points a game to get I think it was like 12 to 15,000 VC, which is like the in-game currency, right?
No.
The amount of currency
Yeah.
needed to get to level 90 was well over 400,000. So you're
Oh my
talking about,
God.
I had to do that like 60 times in a full-fledged game. So we're talking about 12-minute quarters, full game, and you play all 4 quarters, and your guy only gets taken out for like 5 minutes, where it automatically like zips through and everything. You need to do that like I think it was like 30 times, or 30 or 40 times you'd have to do at minimum, in order to get to the point where you could put enough points into your guy so you're level 90. And at that point you're like, then you're like, okay, I can play the game now, right? It's literally killing the boars. It's not even a joke about that.
Dude, and I feel like this is so prevalent in today's gaming culture too, because I feel like they'll release a game, and Destiny's a big culprit, so I'll pick on them for this one.
Oh, yeah.
They will do stuff like this where they won't RNG it or like figure out what it actually needs to be. They'll type in the values, they'll throw it up as like, oh, you need to be this level, and here's the drop rate for this, for like to get a specific gun, so you'll need to run a mission however many times. And it'll end up being like some astronomical number of like, you only get it 1 in every 50,000 runs of like a quest. And you're like, I don't have like, that's like hundreds of hours of gameplay doing the same mission over and over again. And it's like, did you guys think about this? Was this intentional? Because I feel like it kind of is.
Well, so here's the change up with EA. EA is
Yeah.
like, we agree here's an option. Give us $150. We'll make you
No
level 90.
way.
Yeah.
No way.
You can buy VC. So you can spend
Oh
$100
my
and
God.
get
For
200,000
time.
VC. But keep in mind, I just told you need over 400,000 VC to get to level 90. So $100 does not even get you to level 86.
So what's their game then? What's the point?
That's the game. I'll be honest, the game is incredibly fun. It's just absolutely insane. It's like you would need to literally put in 4 full working hour weeks of work in order to get to the point where you can play the game, right? If you want to be top tier, if you want to get to the point honestly level 82, 85, you still need to put in 100 hours of game time. And the worst part is that if you don't have people who are willing to play and put in the same time and everything as that, you get a lot of downtime. You're just kind of hanging around and everything like that. I no joke, for 3 games straight, I put in 300 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
To play a total of about 40 hours online. So we're talking about 5 gaming sessions with the boys where you get on for a few hours and play online. You get in 5-6 games or whatever. And that's what I had to do just to kind of have fun. And yeah, it wasn't great.
That seems insane though. I feel the replayability, I feel if there's something about it where it's replayability feels good and you're actually enjoying replaying it, it's different than just doing the exact same thing over and over again, and you feel like you're wearing out pixels in the same stupid track you got to go down.
Yeah, and that's where the PGA incorporated it, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! I was really excited for the series to come back, and I had such a blast playing 2K23 with TJ, but the new one has that same exact system in it now, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! I'm gonna have to put in. I was playing it earlier, before we got on, for about an hour. I played a couple of rounds, and I got a total of about 600 VC, which is apparently the equivalent of about 4 skill points.
Oh my god! What do you think, Ethan?
It's great.
I'm just gonna say that Slaughter, you're a different kind of beast for putting in that much time just to play with the boys. That's
yeah.
But I will, I'm linking back to the Bazaar. If you were going to buy because you can buy levels in the battle pass. If you wanted to buy all the levels in the battle pass so you can get all of the cards, and this is for a 1-month battle pass, it is also $100.
Dude,
Oh my gosh.
what? So
for the 1-month battle pass, if you didn't, let's say you wanted all the cards, you could spend $10 just to get the battle pass, and then it would cost you another $100 to unlock all the cards if you wanted to play with the stuff immediately.
So what's
for 1 month?
Is it just people being greedy and being on a very low budget and just saying well, we're gonna throw it out there, and if any idiots buy it, whatever?
Yeah, no, they balance that out for sure, because they've added things into the NBA game since I stopped playing it, where they're like, oh well, once you get to 90, you can make as many level 90 players as you want. And it's okay, so I just have to put in 200 hours, and then I don't have to do it again until the next game comes out next year, which is probably going to be the next time I make a player. And honestly, the big thing is the player base will put onto it. If you get on one of these NBA games and you get on day 1 and you look around you, you will see people who are level 90. Because they just buy it. They just buy the money up right away.
Yeah.
They put the money in right away, and they get it. They don't care, because for them they're $200. Who cares? I'm gonna put into it because I'm gonna put a ton of time into this game. Whatever.
Yeah, for those people, it's just the cost of doing business. They go, I want to play this game. I will pay any price. It's the whales. It's the same thing in mobile games. The 0.01% of the player base has the money and will spend it, and so they just need to give them an avenue.
I guess to be able to do that, which does make sense from a sales standpoint of if there are people available to pay your highest premium, but where's the regular people? Do the regular people just either there's 2 options for the regular people, either pay up, loser, or just spend your time, loser, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what they're saying.
Both of those scenarios, they put in as little work as possible.
It's the unfortunate reality.
For the people with the money,
Yeah.
they get their money, and for the people with the time, they get their time,
That
Yeah.
sucks.
which is money.
But it's too bad. It
I
just
know.
creates such a
It feels bad.
bad system. So many games now, it's like, yeah, you have to pay for the game and then pay for additional things. It's like, any games that come out with day one DLC, it just, these things should just be included in the game.
Yeah.
It's too
Honestly,
much.
the big thing is I'm completely okay with it as long as it's purely aesthetic. The point where you get like, oh, you get a new card, you get an additional 30% chance to make a 3-pointer compared to somebody else. Like
Exactly.
those in-game effects are insane to me. Like I want a different color cape, and that should be the only thing I should be able to buy, because I'll do that. Like in Marvel Rivals, I spent like $20. I got a really cool Black Widow skin or whatever. Like it looks nice, but
It
yeah, you
serves
should
my
be able to do that
purposes.
with the actual game. Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like we've gone over that, and I feel
Yeah.
like each one of these topics are stuff that like we could sit here and curmudgeon about the entire time. I feel like there's still also a bunch of different stuff in the games sector that's doing well. So one thing I did want to bring up was, what out of all of the games that you guys, I guess, have played, what do you think is one of your games that you think has a completely unique feature? And I hit you with that unknown transition.
Well, I know Ethan has been wanting to talk about something specific for a while. I think
Yeah.
that was kind of the catalyst behind this entire thing for the last couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
I'm
so,
gonna
Ethan, the floor is yours.
pitch
Load
you
it up,
guys.
man.
All right, this is not a video game. We're going a little bit off base here. I know, right? I play other games sometimes. But
I
this
put
one is
my
called Void 1680 AM. This is a role-playing game that you play in person. And this is a single-player role-playing game.
Oh.
This is something that you do by yourself.
I'm in.
And so this is a game about being a radio station DJ, an AM radio station DJ. And so it's just
Okay.
a little booklet. It's only like 12 pages or something. And the way that you play it is you have a deck of cards, like a traditional deck of cards, and some dice. And there are little events, or, the point of the game is that you are building a 12-song set list. And
Okay.
while the songs that you are you've chosen, the game tells you that you're supposed to listen to them, try and get the vibe. It'll say, play, a song that's been stuck in your head for the last few weeks, something that
Sure.
like you just can't get out. And so you're building this set list, and while you're doing that, it'll have you flip some cards and roll some dice to give you an outline for callers, we'll say. Like if you're an actual DJ, you have people call in to have conversations with you or to just talk about whatever. And the idea is that in between you have 4 3-song set lists. And the idea of the game is that you're recording yourself afterwards. After you listen to these songs,
Okay.
and you'll make a recording saying like, hey, I just talked to Melissa from Texas, and she just called, talking about how her boyfriend John just cheated on her, and this next song goes out to her to make because she blah blah blah. And so the
Okay.
idea is that you record you doing that, and maybe the prompt says exactly something like that, or and the idea is that you're building this narrative and you build these set lists, and it's really it's cool because it'll they'll tell you to pick these different songs, and the guy that made it, which is I think the coolest part, the guy that
Yeah.
made it has his own AM radio station.
Oh.
And he has an email where you can send him your set list and your audio recordings, and he will broadcast what you sent him as an actual like set
Oh,
list.
that's
It's like as a
kinda
time
wild.
frame. He will play your songs and your audio recording from your made up conversations over his actual AM station, and you can like tune in and listen to it.
That's
And
so
you can
cool.
listen to
Nice.
and you can
Okay.
listen to all the other people that have done it before.
I assume he still chimes in from time to time. Like, it's his show playing other people's shows, or does this radio station solely exist to play these shows that all of the players of the game have created?
It is, from what I understand and what he has in here, it's just recordings from the other players that have played the game.
That's cool.
Wow. Okay. That's really interesting.
And so he, like, like he has it, and the 1680 AM, that is like his actual frequency that you can listen to.
Huh.
And so it's just such a weird intersection of, like, you have to have somebody that wants to do game design, that wants to do an RPG, that also has this really weird setup. Like, I don't even know if there's another person in the world that could have possibly made it outside of this guy. It's just such a strange, really cool idea.
And I'm assuming since he's in North America, I'm assuming it's just in North America, right? I wouldn't assume he's got stuff like towers all over the world, right?
Yeah, I think it comes out of, I think it's like West Coast. Okay. So yeah, I mean, but I think AM radio frequencies can travel super far. But I think generally this is, a very niche game. So I think all of it is basically in English.
So has this guy ever been a part of anything else game-wise ever? Or this is just like he came out of the woodwork and it's just like, here?
He kind of came out of the woodwork, but they also, and it's kind of like at the top of the page, it's like, they won a bunch of small-time awards for this, like these Indie Groundbreaker nominated for these categories and stuff. Like, it's just a super cool, weird little niche thing. I just thought it was super neat. I want to talk about it.
This makes it feel like you're part of like a little club then too, because you're like, once you do this, you then go and listen to the other stuff. So I mean, like, what were like some of the other conversations you listened to after you did yours?
I mean, a lot of it is just like, giving some people like a creative outlet that they can do by themselves. That's like really low barrier really low to buy-in. Really low barrier to entry. And something that they'll actually do is, as like a, something to like make it feel a little more alive and a little more interactive, is you can actually also send him in audio recordings to be a caller that people can like download, and so then they can respond directly to you. So
that's really
cool.
Cool.
This is wild. This is something that's like I feel like you would do this on like a rainy Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a little, and it could just be, hey, I put together a really cool playlist. I'm just going to set it out and do some little short recordings. Like, it's just It's
almost like a digital way.
I'd never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, it's almost like a digital way of bringing back like personality to like an overly personable world. Like, we're sitting here doing a podcast that could be played on demand, but this feels like a community that when they put it on like radio waves, it feels somewhat more tangible for some reason.
No, I agree.
Or like
definitely.
Real. I don't know. I guess the internet doesn't feel as real as I guess the towers do.
What's funny is
super cool.
Around the same time, there was a game that came out. I remember this because it's a horror game, so I watch somebody play it. It was called Killer Frequency, and I think it came out. The demo came out in 2022, and then because it was like part of a game jam, they came out in 2023. And I feel like being the radio DJ is like just a really cool concept in general. I'm surprised that 2 different games kind of explored that around the same time. It was pretty cool. Okay.
Good God.
First thing
no,
comes
that's really interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, it's similar concept where there's like, well, it's not really similar concept, but it's like there's people who call in, they request the things are like, oh, it's a song that goes beep boop boop beep boop bop, and you got to figure it out. But there's also other people who are like, yeah, there's a serial killer who's trying to kill me and I need help to get out of here, and you go look at a map and try and tell him like the right direction to go and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, that's really neat. I don't think I've ever seen this game before.
It's really, if you could blind play it, definitely recommend. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sure.
I like how it looks.
Yeah, I like the what's it called, Borderlands-y effect. Jesus.
Cell shading.
Yeah, cell shading,
definitely.
And they cooled it a little bit. I think in the demo it was harder cell shaded. So
Oh, okay. Is that your unique game, Slaughter? If not, you should go into yours.
I'm surprised that triggered my memory of this game. So 'cause this game's pretty cool. But yeah, no, I had a similar thing, or a similar thought of something that I've wanted to talk about for a while, which was technically not a new game, but a game that I played this year, or not this year, last year, a little bit this year, which was Disco Elysium. And I want to say it came out in 2015 or 2016, technically. It was a while ago. And the game has a really cool concept, or a really cool feature, part of the game, that I just wish every game kind of had something similar, or had some kind of similar system to aid in the storytelling. So the big thing with this game is there's a skill tree set of like 4 different categories of types of skills you can get. And the general idea of the game is that you wake up as an amnesiac person who you don't really remember anything about your past life, and you start to trying to develop, oh, this is what I'm doing here, this is the type of person that I am.
Yeah.
You'll probably fail. I think I killed my character like twice. The character's name's Harry, but I killed Harry like twice in the first like 2 hours of playing it. One, I killed him because he just gave up on his job, and he's like, he resigned to a life of retiring, and then just
Like,
it was game over. I was
okay.
like, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So, but the really cool thing is that there's a inner monologue that is based off of the skills that you have in the game. And so there are different roles that you get, just like you would get in like in like D&D or Shadowrun or something like that.
Yeah.
And so the different roles that you get, there's like active roles and passive roles that happen generally as you're playing the game. And then depending on how many skill points you have in each skill, you'll get different results in what's happening. And the cool thing around it, to me, the coolest thing around it to me is that if you're better in a skill, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a better outcome, because the way that these skills work is that there's like different urges or yearnings that your character has based on the skills that they're developing and how good they're getting. So like a good example of that is like you have electrochemistry, which is like, you know, understanding drugs and alcohol and stuff like that and how that works.
Yeah.
And if you develop that more, your guy wants drugs, wants out, and like he like kind of forces you into like doing it because like, hey, this is my guy. I'm a big old drunk guy, you know, and so you kind of like fall into that storyline. Yeah. So or like there's another one, it's called drama. It's like, oh, you can kind of understand conceptually that things are happening around you and you can lie better, but at the same time you also have a propensity to lie, so you can't really like be in like a truthful manner of anything that's it's really cool. This is a great game. Have either of you guys played it before?
I haven't. I actually own it. It's been
recommended to
sitting
me,
on my
yeah.
list.
Yeah, it's worth a play. It's like a top down. I forget what it's called. It's like an ARPG or something like that. There's some category of it, and the way that it works is you can like click to move around. Each day is technically like time locked. So there's certain things that happen certain days around certain times, and you try and kind of like figure that out and maneuver around it. There's different areas, and you work through the story, and that is honestly the coolest thing is like you're like, oh, I failed at this. Let me try this instead, and I'll just max out this skill, and it actually ends up biting you in the butt because you actually have a negative thing that's happening now because of the skills you developed and the other skills that you didn't develop in another manner. So
I see what you're saying.
it's just really cool. Like that, the concept of being like, hey, you're going to kind of become this type of character. You're not going to be an amazing rogue. You're not going to be an amazing warrior or something like that. But like the traits that you develop are going to change the way that you interact with everything around you. I think is really cool. And the coolest thing is the passive roles that happen, because like I said, the skills are inner monologue that's happening.
Yeah.
So like as you're doing interactions and everything, you'll get passive roles and it'll hint to do something. Like it'll be like, oh, you know, I think Harry should do this, in like a very, blasé way of saying that, but you would think that, because the inner monologue thing is telling me like this is generally the thing we want to do, this is probably the one way we want to go, and it seems right, it seems correct.
Yeah.
You go that direction, and then everything falls apart. It was like the way wrong like thing to do. You accidentally stop somebody or something, and then you're like, oh well, okay. Well, I can't trust the game now. The game's lying to me, and it's lying to me because of these skill sets and how it develops and everything. So it's really cool. The way that it causes you to interact with the characters around you, and specifically how those skills work. I love the idea of having skills that can harm you, where it's like, I'm gonna max out this skill, and I'm gonna have an absolutely negative experience in these other ways, not because I have a lack of a different skill, but because of the fact that I'm maxing out this skill and it's changed who my character is. Like
just
as a whole.
overall as a thing. Yeah. No, I like the art style in this game too.
It's super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Jason, Ethan. Ethan, you did yours already. Jason, did you have your unique game?
I don't really have. I mean, I don't know. We all play a bunch of different games, and I feel like the things that Ethan and Slaughter are talking about are like extremely kind of relevant to the game. Well, I mean, in Ethan's case, it is the game itself. The entirety of the game
just
is
unique.
unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, Slaughter's is definitely unique. I don't know. I'm thinking back on. I was thinking back on some of the stuff that I've played, and there are certainly things that stood out. I mean, more recently, a game that I enjoyed was called Superliminal. It's a first-person puzzle game, so if you like Talos Principle or Portal or like any of those games, this certainly stood out when it got announced during like a GDC or one of the last E3s or something. I remember it was coming to Xbox. So it's a perspective-based puzzle game. So similar to like Portal or something like that. You're pretty much just moving your way through this building, which also seems to be kind of like a lab of some sort, or this giant playroom, and the way that you traverse it is just by picking up interactable objects.
That's wild.
Moving them closer or further away from you from your perspective, and then dropping them, or moving into a certain way that shifts the perspective of something that you look at in order to create a hallway or create an object so that you can grab it and use it to escape or something like that. So
that's very cool.
More recent, definitely a smaller game. More recently, something that came out that I was definitely thinking about. There's other ones that I feel like are easily. I guess I don't have a lot of in depth to talk about like Ethan Slaughter, but that's definitely one.
No, it's okay.
I remember when Shadow of Mordor came out, there was like the Nemesis system that they built into that game too, which was kind of unique.
Oh, I like
Nemesis
that
system,
one.
CM, TM, or whatever. Trademarks.
Yeah, where you kill an orc captain, and then he comes back and remembers what you did to him, and then next time maybe he's like an orc lieutenant, whether
if
he
killed
like
you
raises
or not.
through the ranks or goes down. Yeah, like there's some interesting things. I also wanted to touch on like Hades and Inscription as well, because those are like roguelike games where not only is it a roguelike game where because it's a roguelite, there is stuff that carries through all of your runs, but it's like in Hades and Inscription, these are just more recent ones that I've played. It's built into the story, like when you die in Inscription, you come back, like you are a different victim of Leshy's, and you can tell that because your previous death card is in your deck now, so like you're a new person, whereas that old character died. Or if you sacrificed like the Stoat on your first run, he might say something on the second run about you sacrificing him. So it's like those little, or even the Hades scenario, like you're dying, but you're traversing the underworld, so like dying, you just get sent back to home because that's just where you go when you die. So it's like I love those things that actually have it built into the story itself, rather than it just being like a wash, rinse, repeat kind of scenario.
Yeah, it makes it feel like progression's actually happening.
Yeah. I was gonna bring up Super Hot too, but Super Hot is, I think that's kind of an old news. Like, it came out, and I think it has 5 minutes, but if you don't know what Super Hot is at this point, like, you've probably been living under a rock. And I think the cooler point of it is that when Super Hot got released for VR,
Yeah, that's where I
the
played
game had a different ending than the original version, and it's like apt, right? Because the entire game is like a simulation. So when you're in VR doing it, there's a couple things that are a little bit different. So yeah, I mean, there's just a few, nothing super to touch on. I don't think I'll be able to talk about it at length because I've never actually played the game, and I don't know if you guys have either. However, there was one time where I had an idea where I was like, this should be a game, and then I found out it was a game, and it's called Scribblenauts. Have you guys ever heard of this game?
I've heard of Scribblenauts, yeah.
I mean, it's like a DS game, and I'm like, you should be able to like draw something or write something, and it just appear in the game. And I was thinking at a much larger scale, to be fair. But when someone told me that Scribblenauts exists on the Nintendo DS like 15 years ago, and I looked up videos of it, I'm like, oh my god, this is unbelievable. This is basically what I wanted. It's in a much kind of simpler package, but it presents you with a problem, and the solution is only as smart as you are. So it's like, how can I get this cat out of a tree?
Yeah.
And you can just say ladder, and you can climb ladder, or you can say camel, and you can ride on a camel and stand on its head. Or like, dude, I mean, the fact that the possibilities are endless in these games, and this is all like before the AI craze and stuff too.
Yeah.
So like, I can't imagine what the games could potentially be like now, utilizing an AI technology behind it. Like, I don't know, just it blew my mind when this game had already existed, and multiple iterations of it as well, that you can just write or draw something and it just appear in the game, and you can use that to solve puzzles. Blew my mind.
Is this the same shtick?
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah.
There's like a bunch of different entries. There's a bunch of different entries. I don't know what the newest one is or anything, but that's the game.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
do remember the DS one.
Yeah. So
That's funny. That
Yeah,
actually,
that's pretty much all I got.
that like editing monsters and stuff reminds me of another old game from a decade ago, probably called The Magic Circle, which is a game that I found
Magic
in like
Circle?
PAX East, where it's a game about like walking around this like colorless environment, and you find monsters and other things like plants or whatever, and you can like go in, and it's like a very meta game about knowing that you're in a game, and so you can go like edit the enemy's AI to be friendly, or you can go and change the properties of different
that's really
things.
cool. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I played it, and I beat it, and I think it was only like 6 hours maybe, but yeah, the Magic Circle was fun. Or you could like edit monsters to be, from being like guys that like walk around on their feet to guys that can fly with like bat wings or whatever.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played through this one.
I don't know anybody else who has ever played this.
Oh, it looks cool.
It looks
Is that-
very
Yeah, it was
trippy.
very neat.
There was a more recent game that came out too. Not that we have to just keep listing games, but there was another perspective-based one. Ethan, I don't know. I feel like maybe you would know about it. It was perspective-based, and I think you had like a something about a camera, like viewpoint.
Oh, it's
or,
the one with the Game Boy.
Where's the side scroller, right?
No, it was
a
first-person
first-person.
puzzler, and Viewfinder, I think is called.
That
I think
sounds
it's called
right.
Yeah.
Viewfinder. It's like it's named after a puzzle or a camera piece or something
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
that.
say I played this.
And
It's
it's
on your
like
wish list.
yeah,
This was fun.
yeah. Another like perspective-based kind of
I liked this one a lot.
really unique for sure. I haven't played it yet, but it was one that's on my list. I love me some puzzle games.
You just love
first-person
escape rooms.
puzzle games.
That's what it is.
And that's
I-
really
I-
what it
dude,
is.
you're telling me. Yeah,
Jason,
Open your room. I'm getting out.
You'll like this one too. I don't think it's out yet, but they're still working on it. Let
You're
me
just
see.
doxing your wish list right here.
I know. Feel free.
Screen bound.
Uh,
Oh my gosh, you playing a Game Boy in the game?
It is wild because it goes between 2D and 3D as you're holding the thing. So like I actually really can't wait till this. So it's a 2D game in the game,
What?
but then you unzoom it and he's like crawling up the ladder.
Oh, but the ladder doesn't exist in
Yes.
3D, so that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
I thought this was
Oh,
gonna
wow.
be cool.
Oh my gosh, this looks awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait till they get done with this one. This one's gonna be a Steam Deck bring along
Jesus.
forever.
This is tripping me out right now.
Dude,
Right?
It
need-
is very trippy, but oh my gosh, it looks so cool.
You need TikTok break for
I
this.
love small
It's
games.
it's
Very
almost
cool.
yeah, it's almost gonna be hard to play the first few levels. So I think they have this nailed. I think they just have to get the amount of levels down and like a little bit of a story, and they'll be set with the franchise.
Very cool.
Tons
Very,
of
very
potential.
Yeah, I have this
Yeah,
one
for
on my
sure.
wish list. But the game I wanted to bring up, which we're coming up on the hour mark here shortly, so we'll go through this one and then we'll tease you with what we're going to talk about next week. The game I wanted to bring up was Cloudpunk.
So just a cloud with a mohawk.
Dude, this game, I think it's $20, and whenever it goes on sale, it's on sale for like $2. This thing is, if you're looking for any sort of like pixelated night, like cyberpunky feel, you're a taxi driver and you go around.
I was just gonna ask
that's
if you're a
cool.
taxi driver. It looks like you're a taxi
Dude.
driver on Blade Runner.
But the coolest thing is you can get out of your car and you actually have like a body and you could go walk around and interact with stuff, and like they have all these little stories about all the people that you're picking up, and like it was just so unexpected how vast the game was for like $4. And
Why even play Cyberpunk when you can be a taxi driver in this game for a tenth of the cost?
oh dude, I played both of them, and I've been playing this one a bunch because I was like something about how they did the voiceovers, they did all of the artworks, and like everything they did in this game is so damn cool. And like you can go and change your little taxi cabs, and they made it feel alive enough to make it feel like it's an actual world. So
This game is vibes.
yeah,
city.
and it's like throw on a pair of headphones, sit on it. I wouldn't play it on your computer. It was definitely way better on the Steam Deck because it's like you can sit in like bed and play this, and that's really where it hit.
If the playlist lo-fi hip hop beats to chill and vibe to was a game,
Yes, that's
so true.
exactly what this is. Yeah, and I think they're also putting out a let's see here. So yeah, they're putting out a game called Nivalis, which is I think it's basically a bigger version of this, but I don't think that's out yet. Yeah, it's not out yet. So I mean, if you could pick this one up for like a few bucks under the $10, honestly, it's worth the 20. If you're going in and you want to play it, it's worth it. But if you like any sort of car games at all, I like this a lot.
What is it about the art style of this that like, dude, if I had to go back and play a PlayStation 1 game, I would probably rather jump out a window. But looking at this game, it looks so pretty.
Yeah.
I
Even
know.
though it's very clearly like trying to bite the 16-bit idea, right?
Yeah, and I think it's because I know it's just general lighting procedures. So like it just having the ability to have your guy shift and change colors as you walk by things just didn't exist in like the first few gens of like 3D consoles, because it was all global lighting. So they'd throw like a light here and then everything else would be that. And that's just what it was. But like our newer games, we have everything interacts with lighting. Or at least that's my take. I don't know. I'm not a game developer, but that's what I feel like it is. And this something about the pixel art style just really gets you right in the feels.
Yeah, it's got a ton of character.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just something enough that because if it wasn't I don't know, if it didn't exude as much vibe, and that's the only word I
know,
can use right now. I don't know why. If it didn't exude as much, it would look like Roblox, and I would hate
I
it.
completely agree.
It looks awesome.
It's got aura.
But it looks awesome.
Straight up aura.
The dark, just like noir kind of feel of
It's
this
very
town.
noir.
I feel like nothing good goes on here. You know, it's just like it seems.
And a lot of the
But if
missions.
if this had global lighting up top and it was just sunny all day and just little robot people running around and driving cars, it would look like Roblox.
And
I
you
hate
know
it.
what? I don't think it ever has stopped raining in this game.
It better not stop raining.
Graham, can you go back like a couple seconds? This is gonna sound crazy. Jason, you can go ahead and hit play. Jason, is that the Pi
Midnight Club.
the Pi crypto symbol in a second here?
Oh, hang
Where
on.
is it?
That guy's face?
No, not that guy's face. Where the heck was it? Oh, Graham, go a little bit further back. Sorry, it was when it was like driving in the air. Right there, you see it?
He's always driving in there.
No.
On the left. Okay, never mind. That's just a Chinese
I
letter.
mean, it certainly looked like the pie thing, but yeah. That wouldn't surprise
I was like,
me.
they
if
showing
that starts
crypto in this
sneaking
game?
They
places.
show the crypto.
Yeah,
No,
that'd be funny.
they're up here. They're up here for $20 all in. No pay to win. Highly recommend.
Good.
It was a fun play.
Yeah.
Would
That's
you play
really
this
cool.
over following all the stoplight laws in Cyberpunk?
Oh no, dude! Sometimes when I've had a long day and I've had nothing else. I mean, you could tell my library page is
Doom.
have one of my heaviest played games is Cyberpunk, which this is not a lot, but I don't get a lot of time to play games. I'll load
Does that
in
say 7 hours? What does that say?
163.
Oh, 163. Okay, I couldn't see that.
Dude.
I thought it said 7. I was like, whoa, dude, you're not.
Bro.
You gotta get them numbers up.
Yeah.
Busy guy.
I'll
7
load
hours.
into this, man, and just like drive and just like see how fast I could go with like all of the
Follow
stuff
the rules
turned
of the
off.
road.
Oh no, just like turn off all the stuff. And now that they have a picture mode in this game, it has just gotten crazier. This is one of my favorite games of all time.
It
Yeah.
is a great game. The most recent update was amazing.
Oh, I know. Now they actually have Keanu Reeves just show up in the car occasionally with you. You'll be driving and
He
you'll just
still has that.
absolutely obliterate a bollard, and you'll flip your car around and it'll be like, "What are you doing there, Butterfingers?" And like just hit you with one of them, and you're like, "Oh, it's Keanu." But yeah,
Did you get through to this and beat it yet?
I beat it through once, and then I went and beat the DLC once. So I'm due for
Okay,
a
alright.
fresh run through.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Well, because the last time we talked about this, I said I wasn't gonna spoil anything, so that's why I was asking.
Oh yeah. I went through and played all the DLC and the regular campaign. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Dude, the DLC story is amazing.
I know it's freaking everything is super well done in this game. Apparently they started production of the next one in 2024, so we'll see. We'll see more of Cyberpunk, but who knows when.
Jeez.
Also, it's been out for 5 years.
Yeah, it came out in 2021.
Man,
right?
yeah, I guess it's been a while. So on that note of being old, I'll tell you guys about what we're going to be talking about next week, which is media and games as a new form of, well, a new old form, because there are a bunch of different things that go on, like, you know, Lara Croft is sometimes in a movie and sometimes in a video game, and what we have to talk about that. So that's all for Pi Talk episode 3. We will be seeing you guys on the next one.
What?